Recently, I was able to take a vacation with one of my best friends from my school years to Big Bend National Park in West Texas. Big Bend is a land of epic beauty and awesome diversity. Join me as I spend 1 week at Big Bend National Park.
Lechugia and yucca, they could use those leaves, put them together, and make little sandals out of those. When this big shelter was excavated back in 1932, that was one of the most common artifacts that came out of the shelter were sandals that had just been... If we were to hike upstream and around the bend a little bit, there's a little rock shelter up there with a permanent water hole out in front of it, and they call that the Seminole watering hole. And they call it that because the Seminole Scouts, when they would be out on patrol, they used to stop there and camp and water themselves and their horses out of the watering hole. But because they call that shelter and that site the Seminole watering hole, that's how this canyon got its name. It's called Seminole Canyon. And then by extension, that's how the whole state park gets its name, is from the Seminole Scouts. They were an amazing group of people. They were attached to the U.S. military, and they worked primarily out of Fort Clark over in Brackettville. Just over where Highway 90 crosses the Pecos River, just a couple miles down the road. There was a big firefight down there on April 25th of 1875 when Lieutenant Bullis and his 3 Seminole Scouts engaged a large group of Comanches who were trying to get away with a bunch of horses and cross the Pecos River. And to make a really long story a little bit shorter, they attacked the Comanches. The Comanches soon realized there was only 4 people attacking them, so they began to outflank the Scouts and their lieutenant. The Scouts and the lieutenant decided it was time to bug out, but Lieutenant Bullis's horse spooked and just left him standing there, a sitting duck for these Comanches who were getting closer and closer. So 2 of the Scouts provided cover fire while a 3rd Scout rode back for his lieutenant and pulled him up onto the back of his horse. As soon as the group got back to Fort Clark in Brackett, Lieutenant Bullis wrote a letter that you can find online today, recommending that his 3 Scouts be awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor for literally saving his hair that day. The state park opened in 1980. It's very small compared to a lot of parks. There's only 2,172.5 acres of park property out here, which that's tiny compared to a lot of other state parks in the system. The ASI factor, that is the awesomeness per square inch factor, and that's a real thing. Yeah, we think it is. It's greater here at Seminole Canyon State Park than anywhere else we've ever been. bowl-shaped depressions here were when either the landowner or the ranch foreman, I'm not sure who it was, decided it was okay to charge so much money per carload of people to come down here and just allow them to dig. That activity stopped around 1972 or 3 when the state of Texas acquired the property and then began the work of turning it into a state park in 1980. But yeah, this is...